You know, sometimes in life it seems like we're shut in, or maybe we're shut out from the world. Sometimes it seems like we're on a long road and we're all alone. A couple of chapters in the Bible gives us great encouragement. John chapter 20 tells us about the disciples. They had followed Jesus, and Jesus had been crucified and buried, and now there was a lot of worry, there was a lot of doubt and fear. And they were locked in a room. The doors were shut, but right in the midst of their conversations, right in the midst of their sadness, Jesus showed up. Jesus was there with them. The two men that were walking on that long road to Emmaus, they were sad. They didn't understand what was going on. They knew that Jesus had been crucified and buried. Well, Jesus walked along with them. They didn't know it was Jesus, but later in the journey, they saw that the whole time Jesus had been walking with them. You know, Jesus is walking with you today. He's in that place that you're at. I know one time when my mother was in the hospital, it seemed like it was the end of the world, and I went into a bathroom over at Cobb General Hospital, and I got on my face before God and knelt beside a sink. And my heart being so burdened, I just spoke to the Lord, and I felt His presence. And you know what? The rest of the time my mom was in the hospital, I could sense that Jesus was there. There was a man by the name of Jim that every day would go by a church, and he would go in at 12 o'clock and spend a few minutes there, and then he would leave. The caretaker asked him what he was doing. He said, I go in and I pray every day. And he said, it's only short time you're here. He said, well, I don't pray long. I just let the Lord know that I'm thinking about Him. After the caretaker realized that Jim hadn't been there in a while, he began to check, and he found out that Jim had been hit by a car and put in the hospital. And so he went to see him. He found out that that place in the hospital was always full of miserable people, but since Jim had been there, everybody was cheery. So it was found out that Jim told the story that every day Jim's visitor would come by, and the nurse said, there's no visitor that comes by. But Jim said, every day Jesus comes by and says, Jim, it's Jesus. No matter where we're at, Jesus can be in the midst of that storm you're in. God bless you today.